Mel Kiper gave you his top 25. Todd McShay gave you his top 32. Well, I'm going to give you my top 50 2022 NFL draft prospects. This is my big board. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy, Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. I always look forward to hearing what you have to say. If you didn't know, now you know. Everything in the merch shop, 25% off. Use promo code ALLBRO25 gets you 25% off. All caps, all caps. You might be like, yo, typically you got like a top 100, top 200, top 300 big board. Well, I do. I'm working on that right now for the Patreon. So I'm gonna have that there. That way y'all got something a little bit more concrete to look at, something a little bit more tangible. It'll have my evals, it'll have where I have them in my rankings and all that, and the Patreon's gonna have a bunch of other stuff. But let's go ahead and let's get into the nitty gritty, and let's start with 50. Well, 46 through 50. We got Darion Kennard here at 50. I list him here as an interior player. I think he in the right blocking scheme, he definitely can play tackle, but I got him here as an interior player. I really want to talk about Travis Jones and was it DEVONTE WYATT for a little bit here, because these are two guys that I think are stellar in this class. Like, WYATT might have some of the best get off. He is going to be very, very good, very ideal for this for a gap penetrating type of scheme. This guy is straight line, and he's a mean bull rusher, man. I love this dude. I go back to that Arkansas game where he almost jumped off sides. It was on the first drive, almost jumped off sides. And then before he was able to get down, reset, quarterback called hike, that being KJ Jefferson. And still, man, Wyatt was able to beat his man with ease. Running back took a look, said, nah, I'm good. And he was still the first one to get to the quarterback off of a late get off. It was just a thing of beauty. And then when we're talking about Travis Jones, this guy is just a freak. Rumored to have only 13% body fat, weighing at 333 pounds. You know you're going to get one hell of a run stuffer. A guy that doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves, but he still just rushes the passer very effectively. He's got a great motor on him. I really like those two guys. And typically I'm not really an interior defender type of guy, man. I like my edge rushers. But I also got Nick Benito here, and you might be like, wow, this seems so low for him. You also got to keep in mind with this cat that size is going to be an issue, man. He's light. He's not going to be right. He's not going to be ready or right for every system, every scheme. I think he's kind of grown into that frame as much as he could. And what you see, what you get, man. I don't think he actually is 240. They list him at 6'3", 240. We'll see. Maybe he's bigger than that. But he does have experience in coverage. That's why I like him. But he's just not going to be for every scheme. That's why you kind of see him here. And then I only got one running back in my top 50. It's Kenneth Walker. Best believe it. This guy was the best running back in football last year. His contact balance, his ability to force missed tackles, amazing. That translates in the NFL, as you can tell from Javonte Williams, who I was also a big fan of last year. Let's go ahead, take a look at the next group here. Braden Smith, freak athlete at the linebacker position, used to play that overhang role for Penn State, moved to a more traditional like Mike linebacker, and he did a solid job. I got him listed here. Kyler Gordon, man, this cat is the less known, less talked about corner there at Washington. This guy was the guy teams like to target, and his from his size to his athletic ability and to his ball skills, because man, like, it's pretty enticing. He has 4 picks, 3 pass breakups on the year, and I'm kind of curious, man. I'm kind of curious if he does contest the catch point well. But man, I'm like, are these legit ball skills? Are these legit ball skills? I feel like they are. I feel like they really are. I'm a big fan of his game. Cameron Thomas, I just talked about on my sleepers video last Friday. If you haven't checked it out, well, go check it out. By the way, new mock draft, 3 rounds tomorrow. Holy freaking moly, it's going to be dope. I got someone joining me to help me out with it. Y'all will have a ton of fun checking it out, I promise. Cameron Strong, you might be like, why is he so low here? A lot of it has to do with the knee issues. I probably would have still held him outside of the top 30. I kind of see him in that second tier of quarterbacks with Desmond Ridder, who didn't make the list, by the way. I got him in like the 60s. But yeah, the knee, we just need to know more about it, how he checks out. He's already kind of a statue in the pocket. It's not like he's got terrible mobility, but it's not great. But yeah, the knee issues are a bit of concern. We gotta just figure out what are the short-term and long-term implications of that. So I didn't feel right putting him really any higher than this. Daxton Hill, athletic freak. It's a shame Michigan uses him primarily in the slot this season. I think that's a waste. This guy has crazy range. He likes to get in around the line of scrimmage, lay a hit. He's a good safety, man. He's a good safety. It's a shame it's a devalued position. Jahan Dotson coming here at 40. You might think this is low. I don't think so. I think this is just right. This is where I kind of really feel good about. I'm willing to take him early second. I'm willing to take this cat early second. He has exceeded my expectations for him. I thought he was just going to be a KJ Hamler type, but the dude's ball skills are way better. He's very competitive at the catch point, despite only being 5'11", 185 or 184. You might be like, oh, that's still not terrible for a receiver, and it's not. That's why he's here at 40. I'm just saying, you kind of got to bring out these guys. You got to kind of nitpick when it comes to this. Jermaine Johnson, man, this is a stacked edge class for him to come here at 39. He's gonna have a stellar Senior Bowl, I know it. But this cat, his frame and how he's built is just sturdy. He's literally got 2 battering rams for arms. While I think he needs a little bit more polish as a pass rusher, he's just so strong and physical. Good motor. I really like this cat. It's a shame it's such a loaded edge class. I really feel like he could be much higher. Trevor Penning and Bernhard Raymond, I talked about in my sleeper video. These are 2 guys I'm not really willing to move up any higher until the Senior Bowl. I want to see them come out and just have a banger Senior Bowl against the best of the best in college football. And they do that, yeah, they become first round in the first round conversation. But both are athletic freaks for their size. Martin Emerson, man, I might be a sucker for Mississippi State corners. I was for Cameron Dantzler. Don't let that be an indictment on my evaluation process. But I like these guys that are like, hey, I'm going to put my hands on you, and you're only going to be as fast as I'm willing to let you. I like that. This guy has shown ball skills back in 2020, had 12 pass breakups. And he's just been shut down for the last 2 seasons there at Mississippi State. He's learned a variety of different coverages under Zach Arnett that's over there at Mississippi State, right? Zach Arnett, who this is a guy that his coverage is a lot more complex than your typical. His coverage schemes, how he runs his defense, is a lot more complex than your typical college defense. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this cat, man. He's gonna be really good in a zone heavy scheme. And then I got Jaquan Brisker. This guy is Adrian Amos / John Johnson. He might not be the most rangiest guy, but he's very smart. He destroys everything underneath, whether he's going to jar the ball loose or he's going to make a play on the ball. Very sure tackler, and he is smart. He won't put himself out of position to get beat deep. I really like that cat. Drake Jackson, stupid long, stupid explosive, very athletic. Ideally, you're going to throw this guy wide 9. You might question his motor, but he was a lot more consistent about that this year. But still, it's kind of like, oh, this guy performed in a contract year. Well, he performed in a year he knew he was going to come out. So there's that. Jordan Davis might be a surprise for y'all. Not for me. Because if you're not new to the channel, you know I don't fall in love with these interior players that aren't that good as pass rushers. I think if you want these dominant run defenders, these very good run defenders, you could get them day 2, day 3. And for me, Jordan Davis might just be that. I question him. I don't think he's a 3-down player. We saw in the Alabama game him get winded when he had to stay on the field. He was just sitting there standing up, hands on his hip, trying to catch his breath. I really think he's this 2-down player that's going to be an elite run stuffer in the NFL who has a bit of a pass rushing upside. A little bit, not much. I don't think like the ability, the imposing size, the great athleticism for his size, it's all there. It's just not. Travon Walker, physical specimen. He got kind of lost in the shuffle. Not lost in the shuffle, but Georgia, they like to keep their D linemen fresh because they have an embarrassment of riches on the D line. So he was constantly rotated in and out. So far through his career, he has like 800 some snaps, which still, that's not bad, but typically that's what you want your edge rushers to see in a season. And he's seen that in 3. And he's just not a finished product, man. The pass rushing, his pass rushing toolbox, by far complete. You open it up, it might have three, maybe 4 tools in there. But he is going to get drafted if he does come out. I really think this guy could be a top 10 prospect if he decides to stay. But I don't think that'll happen because there's going to be a team that bites in the first round because just the physical tools are just immense. And then Arnold Ebiketie has been a guy that I really liked. I talked about him before the season. Was like, hey, this Temple transfer might be legit. I like when you transfer to a Power 5 school, be like, hey, watch me play, and then you come out and you're like, holy crap, this cat can play. Like, he had a very dominating year in 2020 at Temple. Just really didn't see a lot of snaps. Came in, Penn State gave him the snaps he deserved. 48 pressures, 8 sacks. At the time of this recording, I should say. But yeah, no, this cat's good, man. He doesn't have a complete toolbox either in terms of his pass rushing moves, but he has very creative counters if he does get caught. Like, he does have this plan B if his first move does not work. So I like that. Hey, if you're really good at like 3 or 4 moves, and then you have like opt-outs on these moves, if they don't work initially, then that's great. That works. That can work in the NFL, especially starting off, you know. And then we go to 30, Drake London. I absolutely love Drake London. He would be higher if not for the broken ankle. Hopefully he's able to test out at the combine because a lot of people are very curious about that speed. I think he might be in the high to low 4.5s, which is fine. Which is fine for a receiver. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. You're like, Matt Corral here at 26. Listen, I view this quarterback class very close. Like, legit, all 4 quarterbacks fall within 16 to 26, and they could all shuffle in any manner. I view the Kenny Pickett and Sam Howell as these are guys that can start off right off the bat. They're pro ready. They got, be fair, I think Sam Howell has a much higher ceiling than Kenny Pickett, but these guys got NFL arms, and you could throw them into these offenses from day one. But your high ceiling guys are the Malik Willises, are the Matt Corrals in this draft. Those are the high ceiling guys. It's just, well, when it comes to Matt Corral, he is coming from a Lane Kiffin offense where you don't have to make a lot of reads. It's 1 to 2 reads, and that's it. You're throwing the ball deep. And by the way, I think when it comes to his accuracy deep, I think Howell's a better deep ball passer than Corral. And then there's going to be questions about the size. He's smaller than Zach Wilson. And you'd be like, well, I mean, no, the NFL doesn't care about size. There's guys that still care about size, and they care about the longevity. Because, like, you look at, can he protect himself like a guy like Russell Wilson? I don't know why I keep bringing him up in my videos. You think after my mock draft with trades, I would stop, but I can't. I can't stop. But he's very good at protecting himself, protecting his body. He got hurt this year because he deaned his hand on someone else's other hand or helmet. That's the only time he's been deaned up in his career. It wasn't because he was careless running the football. And then, but I mean, we've seen injuries to smaller quarterbacks like Baker, Kyler Murray, Zach Wilson. So that is still a concern. It's still something to be, it might not weigh heavy when it comes to their evaluation. It's still something to bring up. Jordan Battle, I'm a sucker for this cat. He's great athletically. This is a guy he's going to be good in a man heavy defense, man coverage defense, very heavy man coverage defense. Like, I think he could cover anybody. He's got real slick hips. He's willing to come down and lay the boom. Just got to watch out for them helmets, man. I think he's been kicked out of 2 games because of targeting. But Chris Olave's here. He just honestly feels like he deserves to be a little bit higher. But this class is very heavy defensively. There's a lot of good defensive prospects. And a guy like Olave might get overshadowed by some guys that have a bit higher ceilings. Olave is going to be he's got the burners. He's going to be a good deep threat, but a lot of people don't understand how good of a route runner he really is. He can attack all levels of the field. I don't like him too much, though, after the catch and at the contested catch. Kyer Elam, he was in a down year. When you compare it to the rest of the corners ahead of him, they kind of had banger years. And then Sam Howell here at 25. Like I said, Sam Howell, like, for me, it's like Matt Corral compared to Malik Willis, way higher ceiling than Sam Howell compared to Kenny Pickett. Pickett, way more pro ready, I think. But Sam Howell, I think, has a higher ceiling. I'm a big fan of this cat. I think he did quite well in spite of the situation, losing all his playmakers, his offensive line just being bad. I thought he did pretty good. He is another guy that needs to work on going through progressions and reads, because typically that Mac Brown RPO heavy offense, it's very 1 to 2 read heavy. So that's kind of why Pickett's a bit higher than Howell as well. But a guy that I think definitely can succeed, man. This guy's got the tools. People still talk about this guy like he's coming back. I will be shocked. Treylon Burks could be much higher. Depends how he tests out. He could test out like a guy like DK Metcalf, like Chase Claypool, AJ Brown. And I mean, I know teams, they're now looking in the rearview, man, like, oh, I would have taken a Claypool. I would have taken a Metcalf in the first round. You know, so if Burks tests out like that, a guy for his size, they're going to take that, even though he may not have the most complete route tree, or he isn't like the most nuanced route runner. For what he can do, for the routes he can run, he's a mismatch nightmare and a threat at any moment. And dude's great after the catch. Andrew Booth here, he's going to be moving up boards. He got hot at the right time of the year, and he's a very good athlete. Very good athlete. Roger McCreary might have had the best year of any corner in football. This guy you weren't beating him deep, though Jameson Williams did give us a scare. Jameson Williams, there we go. Did give him a scare and ended up being a no-call pass interference, but the guy was good. He essentially shut down Mechie. Mechie wasn't getting behind him, and basically McCreary just gave him everything underneath. He was like, fine, you want that nickel and dime stuff? Take it. But you're not beating me deep. You're not beating me for the home run ball. And then other side of the field, Bryce Young wins the game with a home run ball. Quite unfortunate. But, he's pretty good, dude. He's shown good ball skills. He's going to be good in a press-heavy scheme. DeMarvin Leal, I'm moving him back to the interior, man. Let's be honest. This guy put on weight, I think, during the year, which kind of hindered some of his production. I was talking to Alex from Hail Mary Sports about this, and he put on weight. They were moving him more inside throughout the whole year, and you could tell like he seemed a bit low, a bit slower on his get off, and just movement skills altogether. Again, when you put on bad weight in a hurry, which I think he was doing throughout the year, it's not going to turn out well now that he has an off-season process to kind of like turn that into good weight. I think watch out. This guy can be special, but it does, I think, knock you out of that top 10 talk where I had him initially. And let's go to the top 20. Malik Willis here at 20. Dude's got great upside. A lot of people hate like, oh, he's a terrible decision maker. Let's get him better about that. I think he's come far and away. I think he is improved so much in his mechanics. His balls are, oh my gosh. Phrasing. The way he throws the football is much more accurate. The ball placement's much better. But again, yes, the decision making needs worked on. But a guy with this athletic ability is going to be such a nightmare, such a playmaker to have to deal with. We've seen that with Lamar Jackson. Am I saying he's the same type of athlete? No. But this guy, he had like close to 64 missed tackles as a runner. It's just insane. I got both the linebackers lists here, 18 and 19. It really depends on what you're looking for. I think Devin LLOYD in a more zone, when you're asking your linebacker to play more zone. They might prefer him, his wingspan, his ability as a blitzer. Nakobe Dean's just going to test out like a freak. I think he could play in any scheme. But again, probably one you'd rather him a little bit man-heavy, maybe a little bit more, hey, go and blow this up. But both are really good. Kenyon Green is getting slept on. This guy, I think, is a tackle in the NFL. I love this guy's movement skills. I think in an outside zone blocking scheme, he is going to be great. But keep in mind, the guy also put out a great year at left guard in 2020. He played a lot of this year at right guard. You know, he could play both sides of the line. Apparently, he could play center as well. He could play everywhere. So, yeah, no, this cat, he's good, man. I don't know why people are sleeping on him. Then Kenny Pickett. He's had a hell of a year, decided to come back. I was talking about this guy the last couple of years because he was actually eligible for the 2020 NFL draft, and I think he made my rankings, and he decided to come back. Then, again, I think I listed him as a 4th rounder in the 2021 draft before he decided to come back. But, yeah, no, this guy proved that he is not just I kind of deemed him Ryan Wilson, like, oh, this guy's has a potential to be a stellar backup. No, he's proved to be much more than that. Do I think he can be elite? I don't know about that, but I know this guy can maybe consistently be a top 10 passer in the league in the right situation, surrounded by the right talent. This guy's got an NFL arm. While I think his accuracy and ball placement could be a bit, so is ball placement. Like, the guy puts it in the vicinity of his receiver, but just sometimes it's like, probably that should have been a back shoulder throw. He threw it a bit more inside, or like when it may be like on an out route to the sideline, he throws it a bit more inside rather than towards the sideline. Again, kind of nitpicking here, but you kind of have to. But nah, Kenny Pickett, he deserves this. He deserves this. And I will say that, which I have. Also, keep in mind, for those that are like super high on the Kenny Pickett train, because I could very well fall out of love. Like I said, like I hold a hit, like Pickett, Willis, Corral, and Howe, kind of all like they're very close. And how I feel about these guys can switch. I tweeted that out. I was like, I don't know how I feel about this quarterback class. I'm all messed up. But keep in mind that he put out 3 years as a starter of average play. This year was such a jump in production. Is it like, oh, this is a sign of things to come? Or was it he just had a really banger year? You know? All right. Kingsley Enagbare. I've moved him down a little bit, but I'm still in love with this cat as a prospect, dude. I like that. I like this cat. He might not be as like an elite athlete compared to some of the other edges in this class, but this guy is disciplined. He's got a nonstop motor. His hands, they're violent. I love how he uses his hands. He's shown much better balance. He's not this bull in a china shop anymore, but this cat was getting slept on, man. I don't know why people sleeping on him. So I got him here at 15. Trent McDuffie. I'm a sucker for Trent McDuffie. This is a guy that just plays the corner position well. He's very smart, very savvy, good short area quickness. So much so, like, ever since he stepped foot on campus, the Pac-12 decided we're not going to throw this cat's way. It's just going to be bad. By the way, drinking a little coffee here out of my All Bro mug. You can get that on broshmoshop.com. I love coffee. David Ojabo is a bit of a project, but he's got the kind of length and athleticism that just you're willing to like grab this guy and be like, we're willing to invest in this. He's similar to like the Vikings Hunter in that regard. I was talking to, I forgot who I was talking to about him being similar to, I'm going to butcher his name. He came out of BYU. He was drafted by Detroit. Oh, it's like an Anasa. No, I ain't gonna butcher it. Y'all could go look it up. But very similar in that regard. He is a bit raw because keep in mind this guy just started playing football junior year of high school. Hasn't seen a lot of significant playing time. Like his only significant playing time in college was this season. Didn't even start as a starter. It wasn't until like week 5 or week 6. Ahmad Gardner hasn't allowed a touchdown throughout his whole career. He's been shut down. Him versus Jameson Williams is gonna grab the popcorn. It's gonna be fun. Garrett Wilson, you might be like, oh no, did you move Garrett Wilson from your wide receiver 1? No, this is I consider him and Williams as 1A, 1B because they both provide a little something different. Garrett Wilson, I think, is this all-around receiver that has proven to be much better at the catch point this year. He's been really good after the catch this year. He's for all intents and purposes, got good hands. He catches the ball well. He had that like spurt in the first 2 games where he had 4 drops, and I was like, what the hell? This ain't you. And then he proceeded to have only 2 drops through the rest of the season. It was like, okay, what was that? You know? But Garrett Wilson's amazing. But let's go ahead and get to Jameson Williams here at 10. Jameson Williams at 10. Absolute burner. This guy's stop-start ability, the way he moves, no one does it like he does in this class. He is a bit more than that. This guy actually, he is a very good route runner as well. He can make you miss, man. Like I said, the dude's jittery. He's hard to put a hand on. Where I kind of like worry about him is when teams get physical with him. How do you handle that physicality? He's got the type of frame that you could definitely put a little bit more meat on the bones. Weighing at 6'2", and he's only 189. It's like, I think if he gets maybe that 195, I feel a bit better about, opposed to like a Garrett Wilson, who is 3 pounds heavier while 2 inches shorter. He's got a little bit more mass to him, but I expect these guys to get better. Let's talk about George Karlaftis real quick, because I got him up here. I have the hardest time trying to figure out where to rate him. So, to be fair, I have him, Kingsley Enagbare, and David Ojabo all in the same tier. It's like you got your Aiden Hutchinson, your KT, and then I got Karlaftis, I got Enagbare, and I have Ojabo. It's really, what are you looking for? Because this cat's good. He's not going to, I don't think he's got great length. I don't think he's that bendy. But what he does translates well to the NFL. Being explosive, being powerful. He overwhelms. I don't know where people are getting injury concerns. He was hurt just last season during the Rona year, and he actually missed part of the season because of the Rona. But he was, during his freshman season, completely healthy, 55 pressures, 8 sacks, completely healthy this season as well. 275 is a guy you can play around with, maybe move to the interior on maybe passing downs. Master using his leverage, but it's gonna be interesting how this guy tests out, man. I'm going with Bruce Feldman's word on him, dude. Made Bruce Feldman's freaks list. He likes his explosiveness. Let's see how that tests out, because you see it on tape. Charles Cross, again, I could talk all day about Charles Cross. Not talk all day. I could complain all day about how, this should have been Zion Nelson. What happened, Zion? Because I was like, hey, I literally said this, that when I did my first big board, I was like, between Charles Cross and Zion Nelson, my money's on Zion Nelson. I was going with my boy from DU, being this tackle with huge athletic upside, to be the tackle that emerges as one of the, like a blue chip prospect. Ended up being Cross. I got it wrong, 50-50 chance, got it wrong. But dude's been great this year, so good. Tyler Linderbaum probably doesn't go in the top 10 just because of positional value, but he is one of the best interior linemen we've seen come out the draft, probably since Quentin Nelson. Icky. I like the sticky Icky. We got a Kem Ikwanu. I love this dude. This dude's mentality. I love, if you're gonna be a run blocker, I want you to bury guys. I want you to have that finishing mentality. I want you to be fatality, baby. Finish them. And he is that. But what he did different this year, he became so much better as a pass blocker. Started using his body in unison, more so his hands. And he's just been fabulous all year. This guy's got the upside. I think give him a shot at tackle, and might end up being a guard in the NFL, but he's going to be a hell of a guard. But I think this guy has a shot to be a really good tackle. And then, let's be honest, everyone knew who the top 5 was. It just kind of depends on your order. Kyle Hamilton at 5. Positional value, safety. I'm sorry, corner, edge and tackle are just way more valuable. I do love Kyle Hamilton. I would ponder on the thought and taking him in the top 5. In all honesty, I would be like, this guy's going to be good, and we could use him in a variety of different ways. We haven't seen a safety come out of the draft or come into a draft like this in a while. Derek Stingley, again, I'm going to keep him this high until we find out more about the broken ankle or about the ankle in general, because he had the ankle problems in 2020 as well. But if you're going to come up and tell me that his play's been all over the place, you could miss me with that. That's nonsense. I'll give you the only 3 games he had that were bad in his career. And 2 of them came against DeVonte Smith. And guess what? In his second season playing DeVonte, actually did a whole lot better. And then the UCLA game, got beat playing in the slot, in off coverage. That's just not what he does. You want this guy typically in press. Not to say he can't play off coverage, but you had him playing in the slot. He's an outside corner, man. This guy is going to be a shutdown corner. Mark my words. As long as everything checks out medically. Ha ha ha. Caveat. Evan Neal, wonderful prospect. Big, strong, and athletic. He's just been money. What he did to Georgia's defensive line was just, wow. I'm not going to lie to y'all. You could probably put him in the same breath as a KT and an Aiden Hutchinson. I would definitely consider taking Neal above either of those guys at this point. KT here at 2, but let's be honest. Between Hutch and KT, it's 1A, 1B. Flip a coin or take whoever just fits your system. Both are excellent prospects. Both had good years. And yeah, Hutch made a lot of money, man. He proved, hey, he shedded some weight and was like, hey, check it out. I'm kind of an athletic freak now. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And KT, man. KT this whole season has teams have to game plan for him it's wild. Like you see UCLA, who basically take Sean Ryan, who actually had a good game against them in 2020, and just have Sean Ryan dodge him the whole game. Like they strangely, they used a lot of read option, and they just tried to like stay away from his side of the field. I mean, dude, they had poor Greg Dulcich matchup on him 1-on-1. Ended in a nightmare. He wreaked havoc that game. Utah, specifically, read option, opposite way all the time in that game. This guy, teams have been forced to double team Utah in that game. Having to double team him. I mean, it worked out because there's no one on the other side of KT, unfortunately. But yeah, no, both are very special prospects. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Mock draft tomorrow. It's going to be a banger. Join us for that. We'll have mock the mocks throughout the whole week. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.